Welcome to the deep dive. So today we're digging into something I think we've all felt, being hapless. You know, that feeling where it seems like no matter what you try, things just go sideways. Like you've got zero luck. Have you ever had that feeling where you're giving it your absolute best, but, well, misfortune just seems to be right there, one step ahead?
Oh, absolutely. It's such a common human thing, isn't it? We've all had those times when things just, well, they don't work out how we hoped. So, yeah, today we're going to unpack that feeling using some thoughts from a piece called Wallowing in Haplessness.
Okay, yeah. So this piece talks about a personal experience, feeling like you're not enough.
Hmm.
And this idea that the bad luck, it sort of just came to me, not like, something I did. It feels external. What stands out to you there?
Well, it's that feeling of having less control, isn't it? That perception that what happens isn't really connected to what you're doing. Like outside forces are just running the show. And that, understandably, leads to a lot of frustration, helplessness even.
Right. And the way the writer deals with it is by wallowing, almost like, okay, accept the loss. They felt they'd done everything possible, and maybe pushing more would just make it worse, like a strategic pause.
Exactly. And wallowing here, I don't think it's meant as pure self-pity. It seems more like acknowledging you're spent. Recognizing that maybe in this situation, your control only goes so far, which raises a good question, right? Where's the line between accepting something and just resigning yourself to it?
Yeah, that makes sense. Then there's this Tom Lehrer quote: "Life is like a sewer. What you get out of it depends on what you put into it." On the surface, it sounds like, okay, effort equals results. Simple. But if you're feeling totally hapless, how does that quote land? Does it clash?
That's the real tension, isn't it? Because if you feel like you are putting in tons of effort, maybe cleaning your section of the sewer, so to speak, and you're still getting, well, sewer water, that quote can feel almost, I don't know, mocking. It really pushes you to ask, is something wrong with my effort, or is the system itself, blocked up right now? It challenges that straightforward link.
hmm The writer also mentions needing a specific mental state and actual time for a reset, not just flipping a switch. They point out that time lets you get clearer, see maybe where things went off track, and figure out how to adjust. It's not instant.
That's so important because when you're right in the middle of feeling hapless, your view gets really narrow, doesn't it? Time creates a bit of emotional distance, lets you look at things more objectively. It's about finding your balance again so you can actually strategize, not just, rush back in blindly.
In that image they describe,
Yeah.
the messy kitchen. Smoking pan, keys lost underfoot, a shoe stuck to the floor with gum.
Yeah.
Wow. It's just a perfect storm of little things going wrong all at once.
Yeah, it's a really strong visual, isn't it? For that exact feeling, everything just falling apart simultaneously and unexpectedly. None of those things alone is a disaster, right? But all together, it's that feeling of overwhelm, of chaos, of just not being able to keep up. It captures that lack of control perfectly.
So putting it all together, we've talked about haplessness as this feeling of being overwhelmed,
Hmm.
often by things that feel outside of our control. And the response might be needing to kind of sit with it, accept it for a moment, allow time for that mental reset. And that quote in the kitchen scene, they really show how tricky that connection between our actions and the results can be sometimes.
Exactly right. Going through that experience, feeling hapless, it makes us think, doesn't it, about our own sense of agency, how we bounce back, and just how we handle those times when, well, our best efforts don't seem to be enough.
Okay, so here's something to think about as we wrap up. When you hit those moments when you feel like things just are not going your way, how do you strike that balance between acknowledging that feeling, that, yeah, this feels hapless right now, and actively looking for a new angle, a fresh perspective so you can face what comes next? It's about knowing when to pause and reassess, maybe without letting that feeling become your default setting.